So today on Eating Consciously podcast, I'm interviewing YouTube sensation TimmyFan. Hey Timmy, how are you?
Very good. How are you?
I'm great. The reason I wanted to have you on today is because, well, first of all, I watch your videos a lot. I don't always agree with everything you say in them, but something I found interesting is that I think you and I probably have a disagreement about veganism, but when I was watching your videos about veganism, I noticed that a lot of vegans started disagreeing with you, but then it kind of got to this level of them really just leaving some heinous, nasty comments, just personally attacking you on every level that they could, which in my opinion, as a vegan, I think it's about being compassionate. So I'm not sure how those people can justify not being compassionate when they're with the kinds of comments they're saying. I would actually say that those people aren't vegan. And I was going to go ahead and let you kind of talk about some of the comments you received and how all of this got started, and maybe if you could read some of the comments and let people know exactly what I'm talking about here.
Okay. Be glad to. Well, basically my videos about veganism, actually vegetarianism, started when I was talking about PETA or PETA, whatever, just a bunch of initials to me. But anyways, they were mostly rants about those. And then the vegans started taking it all personally and started the attacks and stuff. And it started out innocently enough. You know, I can handle a few attacks on me personally, but when those attacks start turning into threats and constant bashing, oh man, it just makes me want to definitely not follow a compassionate trail.
Right. And that was actually something that came to my mind, is that if these people were so concerned that they wanted other people to agree with them, they wanted other people to be turned on to veganism, how did that make you feel? Did that make you feel like you wanted to even research veganism or look into it? Or
Oh, well, actually it was the nicer people that made me want to research veganism so that I can understand on their level.
Right.
But the people who were nasty, just made me want to turn totally away from it.
So why don't you go through some of the comments? I know we were just talking that you had some of them printed out there. It looks like you have a lot of comments.
I have quite a few. I want to point out one of the most evil people that I think I've ever seen on YouTube, and I've seen some pretty nasty people. These are comments made by somebody, a woman my age. She says things to the effect of, "You fat, miscreant, blobby mass," and oxygen thief. Oh, and she attacked one of my YouTube buddies. Actually, this person, I know her personally, and she was my friend back in Washington State. And this girl goes to her channel and writes things on her wall, something to the effect of, "I hope you see your kids die," and all this bullshit, and calling her fat. And this friend of mine, she's tiny. She's real tiny, and she weighs 100 pounds soaking wet. Yeah, and she's got 2 kids besides. And no vegans, but she always feels the need to stick up for me. I don't know why.
Right.
But yeah, she went to her channel and started attacking her and her kids and me all at the same time. And it's probably one of the most evil people I've ever met. Definitely a fanatic that does not turn me on to veganism. And some other comments I've been getting, like this one from somebody on my Debunks Popular Vegan Myths #2. This makes me cringe. Milk from its own mother, blah, blah, blah. Big hairy beast. Get some scientific proof. That's one thing that I constantly hear. And I've been Googling veganism for the sake of my friends for months. And comments that I typically hear: idiot, stupidity, and calling me fat, and things like that, and saying, oh, one of the worst things people have said to me, that I should eat my dogs, or do I eat children? And sometimes that gets on my nerves, that kind of stuff.
So, do you have any, besides that one that you just read from the really evil person, are there any other favorite comment highlights that you have? Because I was reading on there are some really, really crazy ones.
Oh, yeah. Some of them get really nasty.
Or have you had anybody, like email you or go to the level of, you know, getting off the YouTube and trying to get more direct with you?
Well, I had a couple of people that I didn't particularly appreciate commenting me on Facebook, and they were not friends. They were just writing to me to, you know, complain about my views. And if you notice in my later videos, I say if a person wants to go vegan, go vegan. I'm not there to make that choice for them.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I think I should have the respect to stay the way I am.
Right.
Basically. And that's what I believe, you know. I go into these things with a peaceful heart, and I don't know. It just all gets blown out of proportion by fanatics.
Now, I noticed that some of your videos, I think even your original one that started with the vegetarian, it looked, the last time I looked, it looked like they'd been taken down or something. I was wondering what happened with that, if you took them down or if they were removed by YouTube.
Oh, I had them down for a little while, and I put them back up. I just took off the option to make comments because comments started getting a little too out of hand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can handle name calling, but I don't handle threats very well.
What kind of threats were people making?
Oh, saying that I should kill my dogs and eat them, and you know, talking about killing my family, and you know, like that one that said that she hopes to see my friends' kids die or something like that. That kind of bullshit.
And I mean, when I hear those kind of things, to me, it doesn't sound like something that a person that's supposedly compassionate would say.
Didn't sound like it to me either. And I try to always be nice.
Right. And what about, do you have any plans coming up to make any future videos or about veganism or vegetarians or anything like that?
I pretty much feel like I've had my say on veganism because it's not a choice that I want to make for myself. You know, I'm happy. You know, I wholeheartedly commend those people who can stick with veganism. I really do. But it's just not something I would want to jump into.
Mm-hmm. And in your latest video about the vegans, there was one person in particular that you highlighted in that video that sent you some really nasty messages. A guy, I don't know if you said what his name was, but I was going to ask you if you could talk about that. Do you know which one I'm talking about?
Not really.
Yeah, it was your last video. You talked about the and vegan fanatics, and there was a guy that had sent you some really nasty messages.
Oh, I think it was the same one that I said wanted to see my friends' kids die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's probably the most evil person I've ever seen on YouTube. Probably.
And what is the deal with this Gary guy that makes the vegan?
Yourofsky?
Yeah.
I think he's nuts.
I haven't watched any of his videos, so I'm not sure, but I saw he was kind of going a little crazy on your wall.
Yeah, I think he's nuts because he's been banned from 13 countries, and he's happy about that. And he does these things. Now, I gotta say, even as a non-vegan, I don't agree with furriers. Mm-hmm. People kill animals just for fur. I always believe that the fur looks better on the animal, you know.
Right.
But to go into someone else's property and release their animals into the wild, that's actually doing more harm than good, you know, because all these extra animals are out there now in the wild destroying the natural balance. That's my belief.
Well, you know, there's actually a big debate about that kind of tactic in the animal rights movement. There's a big split. There's some people that agree with it, and there's some people that totally don't agree with that. So,
yeah.
But was there any other of the vegan fanatics that you wanted to talk about before I let you go today? Because I mean, really, the reason I wanted to have you on is just to show how awful some of these people are that have been sending you comments. And it's like, if you really want to get your point across, you want somebody to listen to you, I think these personal attacks are not the way to get people to listen, and it's certainly not something that any kind of compassionate person should be saying to another person.
I know. You know, I went through these, and there are so many. It would take all this time. And some of the names I can't even pronounce. One person started attacking me and then started attacking my friend who jumped in to defend my video one night. And this person was thinking that my friend was me in another account and blah, blah, blah. And saying things, calling her fat, and again, I say this person that this other person was attacking is not fat, because I know her personally. And oh yeah, here's one that somebody said, "Why don't you eat your dog, bitch? This stupid fat bitch has never eaten a vegetable in her life," as if he know I have or haven't. And posting videos on YouTube does not constitute a job, dumbass. And, you know, just a constant name calling. And it just got too ugly. And this person who is a vegan herself and is quite chubby herself says, "I might be a little bit chubby, but it can never compare to what you look like." And, oh, I love chocolate. I admit I overindulge in chocolate. I shouldn't, but I do. I'm actually allergic to the stuff, but I eat it anyway. And says, "I would not eat chocolate, at least not the shit that you eat, because I do not eat dairy, hence vegan. Damn, you are stupid. The fact that I am well on my way to making better food choices because of my reinformed way of life says so much more about my awareness than you will ever have. My knowledge and awareness makes up for my extra pounds, blah, blah, blah. At least I'm doing something to change it. Go choke on a donut." And she also says, "Oh, God, fat lady, I could go on with this all night, but I actually have a life. You probably live off of the government and sit on your ass all day, which is why you have all day to reply to all these messages." Blah, blah, blah again. And, yeah, the comments, there's so many. They just get uglier and uglier. Yeah.
So that person was saying that there's, it sounded like they were saying there's no such thing as vegan chocolate, right?
I guess.
Because I eat chocolate all the time, and I'm vegan, so I don't think that person was really knowing what they were talking about.
I guess not. I don't know.
So, what do you want to say to those people? Just all these people that are posting that kind of stuff on your wall, or people that maybe haven't posted something yet but are going to post something really nasty. What would you say to these people?
I say listen to what I'm saying. I'm not telling you not to go vegan. If you want to go vegan, go vegan. But, you know, give me the same right to make my own choice. Yeah, I have nothing against vegans at all. You know, I have friends who are vegans. They're just not fanatics. And I feel it's the fanatics that make comments like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, the last thing I wanted to ask you is what got you into making YouTube videos? And what are some things that you're going to be talking about in future videos?
What got me into doing YouTube videos? Well, I started off with just vocal type videos, and they made everybody laugh and enjoy themselves. So I thought, you know, I would share those with YouTube. And when YouTube upped their limit on minutes, I started posting more of my former videos up there. And, well, somebody else, not a vegan, mind you, but somebody else got on one of my videos and says that I'm too scared to show my face and blah, blah, blah. So I said, you know, just to prove this dude wrong, I'm going to start making videos showing my face. So I did. And that was when I started filming myself. And I actually enjoy making videos. And, you know, making people laugh and feel good. You know, that's what I feel my lot in life is, even if they're laughing at me.
Right.
Yeah. I heard Bill Cosby started that way, so... yeah. And as for future videos... I still am running the TimmyFan Does Montana. I think I could do one more before the season ends. Because, you know, once these mountains fill up with snow, I'm not going to be able to do anything like that. And I'm doing that. I think we're going to be going to Helena next and making a film. And I got one from Billings as well. I'll be putting that up. And in between, probably share some personal experiences like I usually do. That kind of stuff.
Okay. Well, I certainly enjoy watching your videos. And I think that there are a lot of other vegans. There are some vegans I've talked to who like your videos. So it's not everybody that's really mean and nasty. But if people want to check you out, how can they find you online? What's your username on YouTube?
My username is Timmy Gal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, but you refer to yourself as TimmyFan.
Yeah, apparently
Okay.
TimmyFan was already taken when I signed on to YouTube, so I couldn't use that.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
It's called TimmyFan this.
And do you have like a fan page on Facebook or anything like that, or not yet?
Not yet. I haven't opened up a fan page. But
Okay.
my name on Facebook is DTimmyFan.
Okay. So people can find you there too?
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right, well, is there anything else that you want to talk about before I let you go?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, well, thank you for being on today, and hopefully...
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome, and I hope that some vegans are going to listen to this, and hopefully you'll start getting some nicer vegans leaving comments on your videos.
One can hope.
Yeah. So, again, thanks for being on today. You take care.
You take care, too. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye-bye.